Hey everybody, Rodham here. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Speedrun Challenge. So last episode, I made a bit of an error. I ran off with NPM, nutrient paste meals, which are very, very perishable. Even if it is basically freezing outside, it is like refrigeration temperature. I was hoping that the temperature would make the meals last. It did not. And I spent longer mining the plasteel than I needed to, and as a result, I have a whole lot of people starving here. So what I'm going to do is to change the meals that they all take. What I will do is a new food restriction of nothing. And put JD on nothing and Lulu on nothing. And then Bubbaloo, who is, the most starving on anything. So we'll call this anything. And these are, of course, temporary. And that way, if I pick berries, Bubbaloo will feed himself first, and then he'll be more efficient at getting berries. Win is flying there as fast as she can. As for the other assignments, other meal restrictions, let's go and select... What is paste exactly? Paste is just paste. So we haven't actually been eating the berries, so I'm not exactly sure how JD has been eating. But that's okay. So they're out of food. Win is running food down to them. And I really only need a teeny little bit of plasteel to make the multi-analyzer. And then I'll be able to deep drill for any plasteel and gold or whatever else I need thereafter. So that becomes a non-issue. Well, the whole base turned off. I really hope I don't get any raids because I will absolutely not be able to do anything to defend against them at the moment. And this is the mistake I must live with. So now everyone's a little malnourished. I basically underestimated how long it would take to get to that tile, given that all of these tiles here are super mountainous. Luckily, because of how temperate the zone is, despite it just turning over to winter here, I can move around with no encumbrance due to the nature of the. Yep. So Bubbaloo's been eating. His malnourish has been going down. Lulu, it is time for you to eat. And as soon as Win gets there, everyone will be fine. So Bubbaloo is just picking berries for everyone. But he can't pick enough berries for everyone to eat. He can pick enough berries for basically one person to mostly eat. So he's been feeding the hungry pawns. So as you can see, it's still climbing, but not at a rate that I won't be able to merge these two and have them seek refuge. Here we go. Merge. Now, see, that didn't take too long. Bubbaloo's already okay. He's not even hungry. I will set all of these to anything. Everyone can eat anything they forage or whatever. I don't care. And then once they get home, we'll fix it up. So problem solved. Days of food. It just hasn't re-registered. But as you can see, I have plenty of rice and berries and nutrient paste meals. So this days of food is not an issue any longer. So if we check needs, their food needs have all been met. Now I just need to get home without, something catastrophic happening to the base. Well, that works. It's interesting that now it's December and, or rather winter, Decemberary, and it's warmer. So they're only a day out, or just less than a day. But they have 2.5 days of food. And the malnutrition should be pretty trivial at this point, or totally gone away on some of them. Yeah, Bubbaloo's totally gone away. So I'm just hoping that the storyteller doesn't try to murder me in the next 18 hours. Do what you want after that window of time, but before that window of time, have a little bit of mercy for my idiocy, my stupidity of leaving with not enough food. So once they get home, we have all the components we need for the multi-analyzer. We will then have the plasteel that we need. We'll be able to make the multi-analyzer, and that will allow us to research deep drilling and ground penetrating radar. And the ground penetrating radar we can manufacture using this advanced component and the one that we get from breaking down the long range mineral scanner. And the drills don't require advanced components. And then we'll be able to I'm just thinking. Either that or make the fab bench. The fab bench doesn't require... Does it? What does the fab bench require? Off the top of my head. The fab bench might require advanced components too. So I'll have to sort of choose one. That's fine. We can use the fab bench to make advanced components. Make 2 advanced components and then have both. Problem solved. Alright, they're almost home. Just an hour or so. Alright, my big mistake has been resolved. We're still going to need to do some hunting. There is a whole lot of mega sloths. So that's my first target. Let's get everything powered back on. And with my beautiful bolt action rifles, we can mega sloth our way to victory here. Alright, JD. Immediately going for the multi-analyzer. That is exactly what I want to see. Some of them are going to want to take revenge. Oh, you're using a pistol. Interesting. Alright. Rather than risking injury, because megasloths aren't slow creatures, you're moving at what, 4.8? And I'm moving slower than that, 4.6 probably. Yeah, let's get back up out there pronto. I didn't know that wind was set to hunt. In fact, I'll correct that post-haste. And try not to run straight at JD so we don't get caught in the crossfire. And Lulu's out here too. And now it's just about inflicting wounds and kiting. Yeah, it's already too slow to ever catch me now. Almost feel bad, but I don't. Alright. Win, go back on research. And Lulu... JD, go butcher. Babaloo, getting us plenty of herbal meds. Alright, at this point, let's go ahead and assign paste to everyone so we don't get food poisoning. All this heavy fur will make for good clothing. The heavy fur is far better of a material to make clothing out of than synthread. Synthread basically has no blunt defenses whatsoever. And for some reason, perishables should include animal corpses that aren't insects. And don't allow rotten. That is a huge amount of cloth. The first thing that comes to mind is toques. We are heading into winter, and a few toques would not be a terrible thing. So Lulu can flex her crafting skill and create some toques for us. Win. Go back to research. Alright, the remaining wildlife, the remaining megasloths will wait until we have emptied out some space here, because it's starting to fill up. Also still waiting on that multi-analyzer JD. I guess I really needed to prioritize it myself. It's not his fault after all. It is mine, for I am the architect. And all this extra cloth can go to practice clothing that we end up burning or something like that. I don't want to make carpets because I have no interest in cleaning up filth, but I wouldn't mind practicing making parkas or something like that. I'm waking you up early. Let's get this multi-analyzer built so that we can start being productive once again. I'll probably end up finishing off Shield Belt because that's really not that bad of an idea. But as you can see, we're already swapping over to toques. And this will keep us much more insulated for the upcoming season. So now that we have the multi-analyzer going, I'm going to go for fabrication. I want to get a fabrication bench. And then I can start deep drilling. I think that's going to be my order of operations. Alright, Miss Lulu, you are going to make button-down shirts out of the heavy fur. Covering our vital organs is probably the most important. And heavy shirt will do just that. A little bit of eclipse doesn't matter to us. We don't have really any need for solar power. Now the reason I haven't thrown down a steam geyser, I do have a very limited amount of components I have access to, and I don't want to use them all up. I can get some from the spiders in the west. I will have to kill those spiders, of course, but so it's not like it could possibly totally run out. I just need to be a little economical and judicious with how I'm using my my resources. So as you can see, everyone will have a nice heavy fur shirt. And the last one's going to go to JD. And button-down shirts are more protective than t-shirts. So that will be a nice change of pace and a nice change of defenses. Synthread is kind of garbage. If you check Synthread out, its sharp is decent, its blunt is terrible. Versus heavy fur, which is much higher for sharp and some for blunt. Non-zero, because basically, I guess the Synthread t-shirts have a little bit, but still they're better. And they're warmer, I think, too. So there is that. So fabrication will lend itself to advanced fabrication, but I still just need the one fabrication bench. I need to make sure that I can make a fabrication bench to start off the advanced components. I do have some spare plasteel and gold, so I can turn regular components into advanced components, as well as steel, So once I have fabrication all set up, I won't be bottlenecked by advanced components anymore, which is critically useful and necessary. And there's the last t-shirt. To practice my crafting skill, I'm just going to queue up a whole bunch of toques. Trying to get the warmest toque out of Lulu. Wind's pushing ahead with fabrication. And this will give me some backup toques in case I get cold. I think it's probably too cold to sew here. It's too late in the season, but whatever. It's growing skill at this point. Bubbaloo ought to go back to mining. But he wants to sow crops. I'm not going to stop him. I don't have the heart. So our crafting skill, I don't know, it's pushing ahead. Now, if I really wanted to min-max it, I would put her in a cold, unilluminated building so that she spends the most amount of time trying to get the skill. So after these toques, maybe I'll do that. And put her outside. So how to do this? The easiest way would be to just plop the bench out there and then roof it off so that it doesn't have any light. And then try to use the outdoors and the ambient temperature and all that. As you can see, one toque is taking a lot longer. And what this allows me to do is get a lot more skill per cloth. And we've created masterwork. Because light levels and temperature and all that doesn't drive quality, it just drives crafting speed. And I'm grinding away on the toques for quality. Higher quality toques obviously keep you warmer. How much cloth do we still have? We still have 800. So I doubt that my first attempt at poker table and billiards table are going to be any good. So I'm going to craft them anyway. With JD, of course, and then hope that he skills up. Maybe he gets something phenomenal the first try, but I also want to use the jade as well. That is important to me as well. So she's going to be going to grab marble blocks for a bit, and that's fine because I need the blocks for the north wall. And once the north wall is done, it does force enemies to path the long way through my windy, like, trap of death. Or my kill box of death. So absolutely intended and by design. Now, if I was really smart, I would construct these in the dark with, like, steel. So let's go do that. And the reason for it is that will offer more construction skills as well. And in the cold and outside. And, yeah, make it take as long as it possibly can. Because these are my practice attempts. All right. That's looking good. That's a really awkward time to do the rose farming, Bubbaloo. He's back to mining. Let's go ahead and mine the north cave. I want access to this steel here. All right, now that we've roofed it off, we can start working on the... Oh, we're going to work on the marble wall. And this is to allow for him to become even more, or even stronger as a master, to make even better furniture, cranking out higher quality beds and recreation items. Ooh, and a work frenzy for Lulu. That's actually kind of unfortunate, in my opinion, because I want her to take a while for her crafting job. So I probably won't queue up anything on the tailor bench until that work frenzy goes away. The work frenzy kind of works against leveling her up, strangely enough. All right, JD. Working on that north wall. Lulu's having to travel pretty far and wide for marble at this point. I will complete the wall in marble. There's only 20 blocks left, but then I'll probably switch over to any block. Or have her stop going for marble, because I can always have Bubbaloo mine out some marble more locally. But he is... Every time he moves out there, he decides to go eat another meal. It's kind of a strange zigzag. I don't want to over micromanage, if I can help it, but it is a strange zigzag. All right, so JD. Let's go ahead and create this wall. All right, and the last one, let's get inside for it so we don't have to run all the way around it. And then the wall, the north wall is complete. And forces an attacker to travel a really, really, really long way. And the long way, however, needs to be mined out. So that means I need to dig a little tunnel here. And I'm going to dig it 3 wide for a very, very specific reason. Because I'm going to fill it full of traps. So for me to fill it full of traps, ooh, that is a lot of blight. What I will need to do is to have one path that's safe for my guys to walk, and also to rearm the traps, and then have another path for the enemies. Win. Just refuel so you can go back to research. Bubbaloo can get this. I'm not going to allow sowing anymore. I won't spend time replanting anything. I'll just cut all the blight out. It's one of the dangers of having a mega farm, is you can have blights that affect everywhere and everything. Okay, I'm not even going to bother replanting any of that, as I said, because it's out of season. All right, JD is now working on the billiards and the poker. And these will, if they're good, I'll use them. If they're bad, it's just construction training practice. So this is excellent, which is great. I'm absolutely down for an excellent poker table. I just need to put it somewhere where I can use it. And this is a rec type. The higher quality your poker table is, the faster you gain your recreation from them. So it's the, you know, if you can make a legendary poker or billiards table, you won't spend a lot of time doing recreation, which is awesome, in my opinion. We do have some sort of mad squirrel coming, and I guess this is a good way to see that pathing is very, very troublesome for these guys to come attack me. And an excellent billiards. Perfect. That will go right here. What what I ought to do is break down the mineral scanner. Where's the squirrel? Did it turn around? It must have turned around. Alright, so there is our other advanced component. We need to... Oh, squirrel's dead. Protect the other one with our lives because we can't get any more. I guess we could... Yeah, no, there's really not a way without breaking the challenge's rules to get more than that. So that's, you know, obviously quite important. All right, so let's see here. Some shelves. I know I'm going to need shelves for the fab bench, so I'm just going to preemptively construct them. And we're getting some other blocks because they're easier to source, more local to us. This is somewhat impressive. What I'll attempt to do is get even higher quality jade stuff. Now I'm not, if it's excellent or if it's the same quality, we'll keep it. If it's higher quality, we'll replace it. If it's lower quality, we can break it down. We can also replace things like the marble table with jade and whatnot. It depends on how much jade we end up having left. Manhunting pack of caribou. 4 caribou. Or 5, rather. Alright. Interesting. See how they path to me. Let's try to lure them the best we can. Because now we have a... we have the full arc here, as you can see. They can path all the way to me. So what I'm going to do is drag these caribou. We don't really have the turrets up yet, because I'm trying to conserve components and all that. But we'll drag all these caribou in front of our turrets that we do have constructed. Okay, I don't want you destroying these things. So maybe come for my hunters. Yo, back off my turrets, yo! Alright, so one got inside, and that's going to be something Bubbaloo can deal with. And the other one doesn't know how to path to us. My money's on Bubbaloo. Ooh, bit of toe off, though. Alright. Obviously, I need better, more turret coverage and all that. Also, I hadn't set up my trap systems over there yet. So these things happen. These little minor scrapes and scratches. Nothing wind can't patch up in a heartbeat. Oh, you bastard. Aren't you bleeding to death? Yeah, you are. This isn't a hospital bed, sadly, but I'm trying to conserve components. Although it does look like Bubbaloo hit some compacted machinery. Will certainly make us not need to do any farming in the near future. Perfect. That's the one thing I was low on. I wasn't worried about running out, but knowing that I have a much larger supply of compacted machinery where I don't have to fight mega spiders for is great. And I just need to look after Bubbaloo's welfare at this point. He is the closest I've had anyone to a mental break, so time to force drink and eat. And mood right back up where it needs to be, more or less. Alright, still some blood here and there. Nothing I can't clean up. And we're almost at fabrication. These shelves shouldn't store anything yet. Alright, Glitter World medicine really doesn't need to be stored in here, so we'll take that out. Same with beer. Although if you ask me, ice cold beer, a whole lot better than room temperature. But again, we're running out of room for the meat. So we'll put... Ooh, we are like out of storage. What I need to do is I need to start forcibly decaying stuff. We don't want our colony's wealth to go up all that much, because the higher the wealth goes up, the harder the enemies and the raids go, and that just makes it more difficult for us to survive in the long run. So what's the point, right? All right, when you stay advanced fabrication, we want a fab bench. Plop it here. This fab bench requires 2 advanced components, and we happen to have exactly 2. If I fail construction on this, I lose. But JD, of course, is a 15, almost 16 constructor, so the chances of that are slim to none. All right, we'll set up the shelves so that we can create components and advanced components. Turn this around. So this one will be storing steel. This will store gold. This will store plasteel. And the storage priorities on this, okay, they're all important. And we'll need one more shelf. I'll just put it right in front of the beer barrels. Or, you know, I could even move this. No, JD working on that now. Let's just move this. Now, of course, these shelves are wood, so they're not exactly flame resistant. But where to put this? I'll put it here, and then we can move these, reinstall these elsewhere. And this will be components and advanced components storage. Clear for manufactured advanced components and components. There we go. Fab bench all set up. Now what we could do is craft components until we have, let's say, 50. And Lulu will get all over that in an instant. Bubbaloo, I've been doing a really bad job of taking care of you, haven't I? Your rival died. At least you got that, right? And he's still... Oh, I see why he's getting disturbed sleep. Sleeping in the hospital. I'm sorry, Bubba. Well, guys, that's all the time I have. In fact, I went over time a little bit. If you have any feedback for me, drop me a line. I'm very glad that I received all the wonderful tips about solving my starvation issue from all of you. Not that I really took any of them into use, but I won't be doing that twice. Definitely getting some survival meals. Thank you all for your feedback. I hope this has been entertaining, and I hope you all tune in next time. So thank you all for watching, and adios.